Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Our names are Jackie Aleksandrovich, Giselle Jenkins-Cruz, Kennedy Chavez, and Pedro Sanon, and today we will be discussing the astounding novel by the name of The Lord of the Flies. And hopefully, by the end of this presentation, you and many more enthusiastic readers will be thrilled to pick up this book and indulge in its adrenaline rush. The Lord of the Flies by William Golding is a novel that follows the story of a group of young boys who become stranded on an island after a deadly plane accident. This exhilarating novel teaches young readers the importance of morals, companionship, and civility. The author's emphasis on his main points is made clear by appeals to the audience through styles of writing such as ethos, logos, and pathos. Golding also analyzes his claims through vivid details about the setting, plot, change, character evolutions, and internal and external conflict to help enhance the reader's understanding of the importance of order and civilization. Throughout the book, themes such as team building, treachery, and savagery are apparent to the audience as a guiding point through the main events and tragedies of this enticing read.
The settings of Lord of the Flies brings one of, if not the most significant detail to the story. The young boys find themselves stranded on an island in the middle of the ocean with nothing to help them find for themselves but the natural resources available to them on a deserted prison. The surrounding forests, beaches, and caves of the jungle play a vital role in the progressive events of the novel. But by far the most important aspect of this unique setting is the impact on the enhancement of the book's themes. The emphasis on the deserted island is what slowly causes the incline in savagery among the group of boys. The wilderness and isolation from society changes the behavioral patterns of the tribe over time, but then evident throughout the novel, proving the escalation of savagery as an example towards the beginning of the book, and the boys attempt to vote for a selected leader of their tribe, but by the sixth chapter, their goal of escape is consumed by the instability of their state of mind. Through the novel, we see many characters and their personalities introduced to the readers, including the four main characters Ralph, who was named the leader, Jack the hunter, Piggy the brainy underdog, and Simon the prophet, who become the group's only connection to the mystical being of the Lord of the Flies. As the book progresses, each of the characters' personalities progress with it. The maturity of the proper boys also takes a decline as the theme of savagery once again hangs over them. By far the greatest evolution of character is evident in that of Piggy, who was always laughed at and made fun of and made the underdog. For his appearance and incompetence, he gains a sense of confidence at the end of the book nears, being a brilliant inspiration for young readers who are bullied in the school to see that all it takes is a little confidence and self-worth. Every single one of the boys has an interesting story, maneuvered by the plot of the novel, and one of the most fantasizing things about this read is a clear difference between their personalities at the beginning versus at the end.
The internal and external conflicts throughout The Lord of the Flies are major details that show an underlying meaning to the plot. Like an umbrella, these conflicts consist of mental issues, the conflict between various characters, death, and of course the rivalry between civilization and savagery. Specifically, however, the largest internal conflict of this novel was the desire to establish a stable society to keep a sense of order during their time on the island. Their ultimate goal being rescue, the tribe of boys sought to maintain civility while keeping in mind that they were alone with no supervision and needed to work together to find a way off the island. On the other hand, the largest external conflict was the rivalries between the civilized natures of the individual boys. One of the prime examples of this was Jack's early decline into savagery caused his only goal to be foraging for food, while Ralph maintained the responsible thinking of retrieving fire for the benefit of the tribe. Of course, no good novel would be complete without a well thought out plot and a clear change in it from start to finish. William Golding does a brilliant job of depicting the events that occur and how the overall book's details change by the end of it. The theme of savagery is the most prominent example of how the plot changes over time, where the group went from proper, civilized young boys to savages fighting for their lives before the readers could even comprehend what had happened. As you read, you can see how the tribe escalates from working together as a team towards a mutual goal of survival to divided rivalries amongst them and watching them turn against each other. This also emphasizes the importance of companionship and how the relationships between the characters affect the plot in drastic ways.
Perhaps the most recognizable attributes of The Lord of the Flies are its unique and intricate themes. We have mentioned the ongoing theme of savagery multiple times throughout our presentation, but there are more underlying themes to this award-winning novel that meet the eye, such as the importance of teamwork. There are also evident subcategories of savagery that can be found throughout the novel, such as maintaining order and civilization. The previously mentioned plot, characters, and setting are all incredibly affected by the themes present in The Lord of the Flies. As you indulge in the novel's deep understanding of these themes and watch them emerge out of the plot, you notice just how detrimental they become to the overall tone of the storyline. The author's stylistic choices, including foreshadowing, irony, sarcasm, and a third person viewpoint, are also wildly important to the way The Lord of the Flies is written. Irony is one of the most important styles we see throughout this novel, specifically when fire is mentioned. At the beginning, fire is observed as a figure of survival and the key to the warmth, hunger, and light. Towards the end of the novel, however, fire was used as an attempt to kill Ralph by the other tribe members. Sarcasm is also heavily used throughout The Lord of the Flies because of the informal way kids such as these boys speak and their joking manner when fooling around with one another. Foreshadowing and the third person point of view also come into play during the course of the book. Third person is an important factor of the way the novel is written because it brings in the character of the narrator without him actually having any participation in the plotline and just being the messenger talking about the lives of the boy.
Although some readers might suggest that Lord of the Flies is far more complex and brutal for young readers, William Golding's emphasis on morals and manners teaches young readers the difference between right and wrong in an engaging way. For example, William Golding uses ethological, emotional, and logical appeals to allow the audience to make a connection with the characters. Through ethos, the authors address that the ethological notion of having no higher authority to overlook the boys was one of the main reasons for their spiral into civilization. There is no doubt that with the form of adult control, the adolescent boys wouldn't have lost their sense of society as quickly. Similarly, Golden uses pathos to appeal to his audience emotionally, specifically through the Boyd character Piggy. Presenting him as the underdog and weaker link allows for people reading that have felt the same way in their lives to connect with the character on a deeper level, rather than on just reading his story. Finally, the author uses logos to show how logic and common sense in the characters appeal back to his readers. Through Ralph, the author maintains a sense of logic in the novel when the other boys start to lack common sense and go rogue. With the help of the main characters, William Golding demonstrates that being logical, empathetic, and ethological is a viable skill in real life circumstances. The Lord of the Flies by William Golding was an incredible book and a very interesting read. The plot was similar to that of Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, both having themes of surviving in the wilderness and depending on human instinct. However, one main difference between the two novels was that Lord of the Flies was centered around building an emotional connection to the people around you in order to survive, while Robinson Crusoe was about survival depending on independence. Because of this, The Lord of the Flies might be more of an interesting read for younger readers because they know the importance of making an emotional connection to thrive, whether it is in school for popularity or on sports team for leadership. In comparison to William Golding's previous novels, a common theme that both The Lord of the Flies and his novel The Inheritors share is the impact of having human instincts such as hunger, shelter, and companionship. William Golding's unique way of writing and storytelling truly captures human animal-like instinct and the dark truths of deception and betrayal. The character development, themes, plot, and stylistic choices made by the author enhances this one-of-a-kind novel that should be a must on anyone's reading list.
The responsibilities for our project were distributed as is shown on the screen. Jackie took care of the themes, stylistic choices, and most of the writing for the essay. Giselle contributed through the characters, evaluation, the formatting of the slideshow, as well as helping with the essay. Pedro did the ethos, logos, pathos, and the internal and external conflicts. And finally, Kennedy participated by completing the plot, settings, formatting, and helped with the essay as well. Thank you for listening to our presentation on The Lord of the Flies, and hopefully we have convinced you to pick up this incredible novel and take a further dive into it for yourself.